Hi, everybody. I just wanted to make a quick video with some reminders for this week, since we are in the very last week of our online course, right? So we're here in week number 8, and I'm going to say this maybe 5 times in the next few minutes, but our class officially ends this Friday night. Right, so Friday, May 3rd at 11:59 p.m. So make sure that everything from week number 8 is completed prior to that deadline. So for this week, we're looking at chapters 15 and 16, so therapies and social psychology. So as always, you'll want to do those same 3 things that you've been doing every week, right? Of reading the chapter in the ebook, reading through the lecture, and then watching the lecture video and taking notes. So be sure to do that for chapters 15 and 16. Also be sure to do discussions 15 and 16. As always, you have my instructions up at the top in the video that might be really helpful for you. Don't forget that peer response to get those 2 very easy points of credit. You do have your final exam this week. So the final exam is just a 4th test. So it's exam number 4, everything since the last exam. So just the stuff from these 2 weeks. As always, you have a study guide right here. If you were to click on this, it'll give you all of the terms you need to know. So know everything on here from chapters 13, 14, 15, and 16. Just like normal, you'll be taking the test on the ebook site. You have 75 minutes and 1 attempt. So just make sure that you are organized and ready to go before you begin. And again, make sure that it's completed before the end of Friday night. If you email me Saturday morning that you missed the deadline, I will feel awful for you, but the class will have officially closed and you won't be able to access it. You also have one other component this week that is a little different. So rather than giving you a cumulative final, what I've done is give you a short closing assignment. So this is worth 25 points. And what you'll see right here, here are the instructions. Here's a list of all the different concepts that you can choose from. And then here's a little sample. So let's look at the sample really quickly first. What I'm looking for you to do is to take 5 different terms or concepts that we've covered over the course of the semester. You're going to define, give me the term or concept, define it, and then give me a paragraph or so telling me how you could apply it to something in your life. And you're going to follow this format where you, number 1, term, concept, definition, application. Number 2, number 3, and so on. So it's not a traditional paper necessarily, but more kind of following this format. The biggest thing that I'm looking for here is that you can take a term, define it, and the definition can be right from the book, but that you can find a way to apply it to your life. That's the part that is really worth the most points of this assignment, this paragraph about application. So what you can do is look over this huge list that I put together. It can be any term or concept that we've covered, but I went through each chapter and wrote out some of the kind of major ideas or concepts and terms that we covered. So what you could do is kind of look through here. Hopefully there are at least 5 that jump out at you, but definitely pick 5 of them. Each one is going to be worth 5 points. And then the instructions and the spot where you turn it in is right here where it says closing assignment. So you'll click on that, and then up at the top, you can click on start assignment to turn it in. Here are the instructions reminding you kind of that formatting, that it should be typed in roughly about 2 pages in total, worth 25 points. You can see the rubric right here. Basically, if you do all of those things, you'll get full credit. If you don't give me enough detail or you don't do all of them, that's where you'll lose some points. So make sure that you do complete this. I would ask you when, if you could respond, but before Friday night at 11:59 p.m. Again, the class ends on Friday, May 3rd. I think that's 4 times now. One more time, I'll mention it before we're done. But please be sure to do that. You also have a little anonymous closing class survey. So if you'd like to give me any feedback, this is totally anonymous. I won't know who wrote it. It obviously doesn't affect your grade in any way, but I'm always trying to make the class better. One thing that I noticed a lot this semester is not very many people attended the live streams, and that might have just been your schedules. But typically in these 2 classes that I have, I'll have at least like 30, 40 people. On average, I only had like 2 or 3. So maybe some feedback about that. Was there something prohibitive about Twitch or about the timing? Just so I can try to make that a little better moving forward. As far as extra credit goes, same thing. I'm going to give you kind of a similar question. If you would like to earn that last 2 points, what is one thing that could be improved and one thing that you loved that you would not change? And you can go ahead and hit start and reply and put it down here in the box for one last opportunity for 2 points. Again, what's one thing that you loved about the class and wouldn't change? And what's one thing that you might suggest that I alter or change a little bit? So those are kind of the big things to do for this week. And again, once you hit submit, you'll get your little confetti burst. So you could say you'll type your response here and then get your confetti burst. And one last time, pizzas. Perfect. But make sure you do those things for this week. If you haven't done week number 7, obviously make sure you go back and do that. But everything from week 7 and 8, one last time for you, is due by this Friday night at 11:59 p.m. Again, please make sure you get everything in before that deadline. Also a really good time to be double checking your grades in the class. If you click on the little grades tab right here, you can see all of your scores for every single thing that has been turned in. Everything is graded up until the stuff from this 2-week section that we're in. So if something is missing that shouldn't be, if something is wrong, this is a really good time to let me know. Once I submit final grades, if there's an issue, I have to have signatures and it takes some time to fix it, versus if you let me know now, we can address it together before the class ends. So thank you all so much for a wonderful short 8-week class. I hope you all have a fantastic summer. And again, make sure to get everything in one last time, right? Last chance for me to tell you by Friday night at 11:59 p.m. All right, if you have any questions, feel free to email me. Otherwise, have a wonderful rest of your week.